And welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show, ladies and gentlemen. There were jobs numbers out today, not the official numbers, not the fudge numbers from from the government. These were the ADP numbers in anticipation of, or in advance, I should say, of Friday's numbers. And joining us now to talk about that and Detroit. We'll send you to Detroit. And that would be Charles Payne, Fox Business host and analyst. And check out his website, wstreet.com. Hey, Charles.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. Good to talk to you. It was good to see you down at Restoration Weekend.
That was fantastic.
3 weeks ago already. You believe it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, so these numbers, the media is all up in, hey, this is great, 200,000 jobs. Whoa. It's better that if that comes to fruition, it's better than we've had, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, and that's where we are right now. Listen, we've learned to celebrate mediocrity. I mean, we're being told as a country that our goal should be to climb out of the lower part of the economy into the lower part of the middle class. So instead of the government paying all your bills, you'll live paycheck to paycheck. We're being told to accept all of this, and to a certain degree, at least the stock market has. Now, listen, I will say the silver lining is it's gotten a lot better since August. In August it was 151,000 jobs, but 215,000 jobs at this stage of a so-called recovery. Heck, a year ago in November it was 276,000 jobs. So it's one of these things where you try to make the most of it. You can pick out a silver lining here and there, but it's nowhere near where we should or could be as a country.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what about looking ahead to the quantitative, the QE easing of the Fed easing the buying? I've heard reports that could start as soon as next month. Do you foresee that?
It's kind of hard for me to see them making a major shift like that just months ahead of a new chairman coming in. It's sort of it will definitely roil the markets, and it would sort of establish a pattern for the Fed. In other words, okay, it's time to start taking away accommodation, and maybe that's not on their plate. Maybe it's not on the playbook of Janet Yellen, who's going to be the new chairman. So, we had maybe 300,000 jobs with the official number coming out Friday. 400,000 jobs, which, by the way, it sounds crazy. It almost sounds like I'm a lunatic talking like this, but it happened before. This has been the worst post-recession recovery. Once during Reagan's term as president, we had 1 million jobs in 1 month.
I was going to say 1 million. No, we're in the 100,000s, and that's what they go good or bad based on that number. Like you said, low expectations.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Bernanke's parting shot. You never know.
You never know. If Bernanke were to buy fewer bonds, to me it would actually be a mea culpa that, hey, this stuff just doesn't work, because at the end of the day, it's done nothing really in my mind for Main Street. We enable the federal government to spend money it doesn't have, and we've been buying junk from banks, and we don't even know what that junk is.
All right, let's go to Detroit. Speaking of junk, this is a city, my God, where police response time is 50-something minutes, where a good percentage, or more than half, I think, of the traffic lights don't work. I mean, you go down the list. I don't know how anybody could live there. And having said that, a judge upheld the bankruptcy filing of the city, $18 billion, I think. What does this mean, and who's going to get stuck the most?
Well, first of all, I think it was the best decision possible for Detroit. I mean, if you live there, if you're enduring all of this, and you want to be a true trooper, if you think the city can turn around, if you really believe in it. At one point, Detroit was called the Paris of the West, West America. It was just absolutely amazing, and of course, it's the town you just described. Not having to pay those lavish pension promises frees up this city to start new, and it will start to attract businesses. And it's not going to be something that happens overnight. But I can tell you right now, the Chinese are already in there buying, hand over fist. They bought about $10 million worth of real estate just in the last few months alone. So it's good news. It's also good news for other places where the same situation may have occurred. Listen. There's no doubt that there are people who retired there who made promises were made to them. By the same token, there's no doubt that there was this relationship between powerful unions and politicians. The unions voted in the politicians made the promises more lavish. The unions voted in the back end, the politicians, they had this sort of virtuous cycle amongst themselves, ignoring everything else around them, obviously to the peril of that city.
Yeah. I want you to hear what the president had to say earlier today, because he never stops. Here's what it was.
I want to spend some time talking about today, and that is a dangerous and growing inequality and lack of upward mobility that has jeopardized middle-class America's basic bargain, that if you work hard, you have a chance to get ahead. I believe this is the defining challenge of our time, making sure our economy works for every working American. That's why I ran for president. It was the center of last year's campaign.
Oh, is that why he ran for president? Barack Obama, I have no doubt, if he had his druthers, would like everybody to make the same amount of money, except, of course, athletes and movie stars.
Yeah. It's so funny. He didn't make this speech a week ago when he was in Hollywood raising money. You talk about something skewing the top 1%, okay? He does this ahead of this big thing tomorrow on Thursday with the unions protesting at restaurants.
Right.
We have a free market system, and the president doesn't respect that free market system, and so he uses buzzwords like people working, there's a basic bargain. Well, if you put yourself in a position where you can only get a job at a minimum wage business, you actually did something. Now, I'm not saying you weren't born in a disadvantaged position, but in America, everyone has an opportunity, and what the president is actually preaching is the most dangerous thing out there, that wages should be artificially raised, that mediocrity should be rewarded and encouraged. So if you're the kid who's taken honors classes, or if you're the kid who's got to work your way through college, what's the incentive if the kid who dropped out can make $15 an hour, and I go through all of this, and I start off at $20 an hour, at $18 an hour.
And you know what?
Incentivize the entire country.
Charles, as you know, the most scary part of that for you and me is we both have children, and that's very scary. I thank you for your time, sir. We'll watch on Fox Business, and of course the website wstreet.com. Charles Payne, ladies and gentlemen. All right, folks, we're coming back. We're not going away. I mean, we're going away, but we're coming back. I hope. Steve Malzberg Show right here on Newsmax TV and, of course, radio.